it's Haiti and I'm here with a video about digital minimalism, and I will be doing that by showing you what's on my iPhone. So I apologize if this part of the video is a bit shaky and the lighting is off and there's a lot of issues going on. It's mostly because I can't find a clean space to properly film a facial video because I am in the process of redoing my room, and so almost every part of the room is a mess. So that's why I decided, well, why not just do a video about what's on my phone and show you guys how I try to be as minimalist as possible when it comes to the apps on my phone. So hope you enjoy. So to start off, I just wanted to show my lock screen. And here's my home screen. So I basically have the first page and the second page. And the first page includes the apps that I use very frequently and daily. So obviously settings is going to be there. My clock, I always have my alarms to help me wake up. The calendar is very useful, and the calculator. So those are very useful apps that the Apple phone already has. So I have those on the top, and then I usually go to my photos, but I also have the camera app at the bottom so that I'm able to take pictures easily and also see my photos easily. And I guess since I'm also talking about the bottom four apps, I usually just use the phone to easily get me to every aspect of the phone. So I usually have it on recents, but my contacts are pretty basic, and then the keypad and my voicemails. I can basically reach anything from that one button. I have my text messages and the Google Chrome app to just help me with searches. I used to have the Google search app separately from Google Chrome, but I realized it's easier to just have the one app there. And so going on back to the second row, I always go to Spotify. I'm always listening to music or podcasts, and I'm always somehow listening to Spotify throughout the day. And then my primary bank for my credit cards and my debit card is Chase. So that's why I also have that on the first page. I'm constantly checking my account just to see how I'm doing financially. And then the way I like to take notes is OneNote. I really like how the features are displayed on this app. So these are like the different types of notes that I have. But let's say, for example, this first one, I like the check marks and the check boxes that it includes. So currently I'm trying to watch as many of the Disney movies that I can on Disney Plus. My next movie I have to watch is Pocahontas, so I really like that app for my notes. And then I usually use Gmail. I'm always checking my emails, so that's there. I'm always on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two social media platforms I'm always on. And obviously my Messenger. I usually talk to my friends through Messenger. And then Google Maps is really helpful when I'm driving and I need to go places. And then the video platforms I like to watch are Netflix, Disney, and YouTube. So if you could kind of see the pattern here, I like grouping the apps together based off of similarity. So I have the social medias together, I have the communications together, and then the video platforms. And so that'll be a running theme for the second page. So moving on to the second page, I start off with the weather app. I'm constantly checking the weather, and so I guess it should be on the first page, but I kind of also wanted to have sort of an even split within the apps, and also so that this picture at the bottom had enough room to be shown by itself. So that's kind of why I split it up into two separate pages, so that that picture had some sort of room to be pretty. And so the weather app is there. And then these next three apps are in the religion category for me. So K-Love is a Christian radio station, but my channel in LA, there's a lot of static and interference, so it's better for me to just listen through the app directly. There's a lot more clear reception. And then First Five is my Bible devotional, and then I also have the Bible app. So those are grouped together. And then LinkedIn is another social media app, I guess, that I use pretty often to look for jobs and to kind of just go through the things that my connections are posting. But again, I don't have it on the first page because it's not as important, or I don't check it as frequently as I do the other apps on the first page. I have Shazam on there. I'm constantly listening to songs, I guess, on the radio or when I'm at a store, and I'm curious, and so I always want to Shazam them to see what songs they are. And then this app, Sing Sharp, if you didn't know, I sing in the choir for my church, and I'm not the most musically adept. I wasn't trained professionally, so I don't really know much about notes, but I know enough to kind of understand how I can improve if I'm not singing well, or maybe if I'm just not singing in the right note. This helps me figure out if I'm singing okay. So I'm usually using the vocal range part. So I'm very sharp apparently, but this is helping me see that. So I really like this part of the app. This is part of the app that I'm always using, the vocal range. But the warm up and sing songs features are pretty fun to do once in a while also. And so this other app, Roku, is basically just the online version of the remote control for the TV in my mom's room. So after those, we now start with the folders. And so I have, I'll start with the Apple one just because we can get it over with. It's just the Apple applications that I don't use too often, but that I can't really delete. So yeah, there's Find My Apple devices and Health and Safari. If anything, I have the iTunes app just because I have my alarm ringtone song downloaded on there. So I need to keep that, and then the app store for the apps. And then I actually do use voice memos pretty often for to record myself while I sing. I'm able to record my voice just to make sure I'm singing it right, and so I don't forget the notes that I'm singing. So then we can go to the money folder. I basically have the prepaid Bank of America app for my unemployment debit card. I use Apple Pay pretty often, so the wallet is in that folder. And then Mint is my budgeting app. I highly recommend it. It's great. I have Venmo and PayPal together because a lot of the times I'm finding myself paying people through those apps. And I also use Zelle very often, but I can access that through my Chase app. And then I have the Credit Karma app just to check my credit score to see how I'm doing once in a while. And then Geico is my auto insurance. Cricket is my phone plan, and AT&T is my internet plan. So basically those are bills, but I have that included under the money folder. And then for food and shop, it's just the places that I typically eat or shop at. So Target, Macy's, Torrid, and Amazon are frequent places that I shop at. And then Fetch Rewards is, if you've heard of Ibotta, it's basically the same idea where you scan your receipt that you buy at a grocery store or even a fast food restaurant, but they don't give you as many points. It's mostly used for grocery stores, and you get points accumulated, and then you can use those points to buy gift cards. So in a way, it pays you back just for basically taking pictures of receipts that of items that you've already bought. And so I use that app as kind of like the divider between the shopping apps and the food apps. So now I have my food apps. I use Uber Eats pretty often. I go to Starbucks and Domino's, Wingstop pretty often. Yelp is on there. Sometimes I like to see restaurants and their ratings. And then my grocery stores that I typically go to, which are Ralph's and Food for Less. So here under photo and video, layout and Insta size, I use to help with my photos on Instagram, whether I want to make a collage or if I just want to size it into a square, even though it's typically a rectangle. Snapchat, I have it under this folder just because I don't use it often, but it is considered like a photo video app. And some of my friends still contact me through there, so I just stuck it into the photo and video folder because I don't use it as often as I do LinkedIn and Instagram and whatnot. Google Photos is how I store my photos and videos. I have the drive in there. I also have more videos and documents in that app, and so I kind of just stuck it into the photo and video folder. Also, Lightroom, I'm pretty sure most of you know about it, but it also helps with like editing your photos, which I don't do typically, but my sister does it for me sometimes if I ask her to. So instead of having to send her the picture and then her sending it back to me, she just does it through my phone directly on Lightroom. And then Canva, iMovie, and YouTube Studio are all basically for my YouTube videos. So those three apps I use to help. Canva is to help me make the thumbnail, iMovie to edit the video, and then YouTube Studio to see the analytics. And then under miscellaneous, I have a lot of like the entertainment apps. So I used to be a huge AMC theater attendant before the virus hit. I was part of the A-list, so I would only pay about $23 a month to watch 3 movies a week, and most of the time I was watching about 2 movies a week. So it made sense for me to get that plan, and I used to have the AMC Theater app up on the first page because that's how often I needed to open my app to watch the movies and get my ticket. But since they're closed, I have it just stuck under the miscellaneous folder for now, but it will be coming back out once the theaters open again. And then Choices is a game, an app that I like to play. It's by Pixelberry Studios, and I've played some of their other games before, and I really like them and their way of storytelling. So that's why I have Choices. I'm barely trying it, and I'm hooked, especially now that we're in quarantine. Disneyland, again, I'm a Disneyland pass holder, and because of the virus, the parks are closed, but I did have the at least when I would go to the parks, the Disneyland app would end up on the first page because I constantly needed it to see my pass card and for fast passes or for the wait times of the rides. And then Sudoku, and I'm a huge Pokemon Go player, so I have the Pokemon Go app and then the Poke Genie, which helps me with analytics for the Pokemon that I catch. And then Tumblr is another social media app, I guess, that I use, but it's more just for entertainment purposes, and I do not go on it as often as LinkedIn, so I just leave that in the miscellaneous folder. WhatsApp, I barely use it except to talk and send things to my older sister, so that's why I just stuck it into the miscellaneous folder. Zoom, I used to use it to speak with my friends, but now we're just going back to Messenger, so I have it there just in case I need it for some sort of interview, conference call, or any emergency last minute calls that I might need to be on. Bitmoji, I used when I was using Snapchat, and then GroupMe, which I used a lot when I was in college to contact people within the club that I was in, but I don't need it anymore. And but sometimes people do like to randomly just send a message through there once in a while, so I don't want to miss that in case they do. Because no one will reach out to me in another platform and say, hey, you got a message to GroupMe. So I just keep it there just in case somebody randomly wants to message us one day. But yeah, so those are all the apps on my phone. Sometimes I feel like it's a little cluttered and I could take some of them out. But the thing is, I'm not the type that likes to download and delete and re-download apps on a need to use basis. So I'd rather just keep like the very essential ones that I feel like I do go often to, or that like GroupMe, that I might get a message through there one day. And if I don't have that app, I'll never know that someone sent a message to me. So I've tried to downsize as much as I can, but that's basically it for all my apps. There are obviously other apps that I could have, like Airbnb or Lyft, which are apps that I use pretty often when I'm traveling, but I'm not traveling right now, and I'm not going to travel in a while, so I'll download those once I do need to use them, but for now I don't need them. If you have any questions regarding any of my apps or how I organize, or just any questions about minimalist or digital minimalism, then feel free to let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.